Welcome to Recap and React with Candace. My name is Candace. I have my husband Jordan here with me today on this channel. This is my first video, and I will be recapping, reviewing, reacting to some of my favorite TV shows and movies. Sometimes Jordan will join me if it's something that he also watches, you know, and sometimes he won't. But we'll see. If you guys like him, maybe he'll join me full time. Maybe I can convince him to. I don't know. So today what we're going to be discussing is Bel Air season 3, just kind of our overall thoughts, kind of a little bit of a recap. This is one of our favorite shows. I know. I know Jordan enjoys it, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's really good so far.
So yeah, we just kind of wanted to recap that and give some of our thoughts and opinions. So on season 3, we came in on Carlton had just he's getting out of rehab. So kind of what I guess we can kind of talk about what were your thoughts on Carlton at the end of season 2, and like what were you expecting going into season 3?
Uh Honestly, I didn't have all that much faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
Um just because, people with those type of habits, it's hard for them to break those habits. But, obviously I was proven wrong
Yep.
watching through the whole entire season. I like this version of Carlton. People like to compare this to the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you mean just like the series?
yeah, I
Okay, because
like
I was like
I like the,
season.
but I like the character that he is. I've seen growth in him from the stuff from the
Mm-hmm.
racism thing to him
Yeah.
realizing himself like, all right, this is not okay,
Mm-hmm.
to, building a better relationship with Will
Yeah.
and whatnot and stuff. So, at first I didn't have any faith in him, but he's doing better than I thought he was, so
Yeah. I appreciated them giving his character, I guess just overall, because we're just now starting to review in
yeah.
season 3, but just more depth than like in The
Hmm.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like you get a little more character development. I feel
Yeah.
like with all the characters,
Yeah.
in this more like dramatic version of it. Um, I don't know, cause I think a lot of it took so long for us to get to season 3 that I kind of forgot some of the stuff that happened in season 2. So like, well, I guess we can kind of talk about like when he comes home. Well, he's sneaking around with Amira. We'll get to her. But Ashley was being real funny, and we both were watching. Was like, why is Ashley acting like that? It would just seem like she was just like being negative. Then we had to remember, oh, he got kind of physical with her at
Yeah,
the end
he
of
did
season 2.
before his little
So
speech at
like,
graduation. Yeah.
what did you think about like
Not
him and
graduation.
Ashley and like their relationship and kind of where that left them? And did you think Ashley was kind of, because I don't, Ashley's in what, middle school, so maybe it's kind of fair with her reaction, like, you know what I mean? She's just
Yeah.
young.
I mean, those are signs of somebody that has a problem.
Mhm.
Addiction comes in very different ways and stuff like that. And, um, that's your own blood and everything. Y'all been through a lot and everything. And
Mhm.
just the way he handled her, she's still like, she's a tiny little girl, and he got
Yeah.
physical with her. I mean, you can forgive, but you can never forget.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she forgave, but she didn't forget and everything.
Mhm.
So, so her actions are completely understandable, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that was his in season 2, like that was like his wake up call. Like I really like put my hands on my sister, my little
Yeah.
sister. And I think that's what like drove him to go ahead and like confess what he had going on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So throughout this season, we see his relationship with Amira, who he met in rehab. um, Amira, we already knew she was bad news. Like, I think you and I both were on the same page when we kind of saw their relationship. Now, I think at first we were like, okay, maybe, and we thought
Yeah.
maybe Aunt Viv was being a little extra with like not wanting Amira around, but then as it started to progress, she showed signs that she was just very
Yeah.
unstable.
Yeah.
Like, what
I
did you
agree.
think about Amira and that relationship?
At first, I thought it was great because, it's always good to have somebody that you can relate to,
Hmm.
that's been through some of the same things you've been through. But in the back of my head, it's also could be a bad thing because, you both can slip back into that bad habit and
Right,
things can go
right.
dark again. So At first I was like, maybe they complement each other really well, but then again, I was like, it seems like they haven't been there that long together,
Mhm.
and it's almost like it's pretty much I don't know what rehab is like, but it feels like it's a social experiment. And when you're with somebody for what they were in there for, what, 4 weeks. Is
Yeah, I think I
four,
don't think they were in there that long.
they weren't in there that long, but 4 weeks, you're seeing the same person every single day,
Mhm.
nonstop, and that's who you're spending your time with. I mean, you have no choice but to bond to somebody. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think, you know, I was on the fence about her, but
Yeah.
now that I know what I know, I think she's not good for him at all.
Yeah, I agree. Cause like obviously well, not obviously, but as far as I know, I don't think I know anyone that's been to rehab, but just from like the shows and stuff that we watch, they're always like,
Yeah.
don't like date anybody there or like don't get in a relationship too soon, during your
Hmm.
recovery and stuff. So I just knew just based off of like TV and stuff that I've seen, like that
Yeah.
wasn't good. Like,
Yeah.
because you don't want to become codependent on that person because then if you like, you guys break up or anything, you don't want
True.
your sobriety to be like dependent on another person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just like, that's not good. And then when she told Aunt Viv she was like a repeater, she'd been in rehab before. I'm like,
Hmm. It's an ongoing
that's
cycle. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a red
So I
flag.
kind of understood Aunt Viv, but then like Amira was just real weird. Like she like the whole when Carlton came to her NA meeting, and then she made it seem like he was a stalker or something.
Yeah.
And
That
I
was
was like, that was
strange.
erratic behavior. Like
Yeah.
then I was like, what's wrong with her? Then she like came in apologizing. I don't know. She was all over the place. Um, do you wanna keep talking about Carlton and Amira? Like go ahead and kind of finish out that I guess that storyline, or do you want to kind of jump back and forth more chronological?
It's whatever.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and finish up with Carlton Amir because I got a lot of thoughts on her. So then I also didn't like how she was with Will. Like you're new to the friend group and you just
Oh
come in and
yeah, I
starting a
hated that.
bunch of mess. It was like she
Yeah.
was trying to pit Will and Lisa against each other the whole time, and I really didn't understand
Yeah.
why. Like, what was her beef with Will? Because Will had no beef with her.
Nah, he didn't. And I think that's how I'm not a fan of being close with a whole bunch of friend groups and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're in a relationship. Me and you being married, but I just people know too much of anybody's business on this part of the show. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're too invested in what other people have got going on, and that's where problems tend to happen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't. She overstepped by a long shot.
Oh yeah.
And then the fact that Lisa didn't have Will's back kind of made me angry too.
I agree.
Nobody had Will's back in that
I
situation.
agree.
And I don't even, I'm going to be real. You know, I don't like Lisa. I don't. I like Jackie. I think
Yeah.
Jackie, first and foremost, Jackie looked good.
Yeah,
She
she do look better than
she
Lisa.
looked better than Lisa by a long shot, in my
But
personal
I think
opinion.
it was how they were doing Lisa's makeup the last 2 seasons. Because this season they fixed it.
They did
Remember? Because
better.
they were making her eyebrows all strong and stuff.
But I think Jackie is for Will. Like, they got the same background.
Yeah.
Like, they just
She
understand
just
each
gets
other.
him in a way that Lisa wouldn't because she just didn't grow up like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I did not like how Lisa like took Amira's side on the stuff. Like it just felt like I don't know. It's like you don't like gang up on me if like you my man. Like even if I'm dead ass wrong, you don't say that
Nah, you
in
don't.
front of everybody
Nah.
else. Like
Nah.
you kind of even I ain't not saying you have to full on have my back,
Yeah.
but like don't like gang up on me with
Right.
everybody else. Wait till you get in problem. Like wow, now Candace, you was wrong.
Yeah.
You know. What I mean?
That's there's a time and place for those type of things.
Yeah, so I
You know.
just didn't like that from Lisa.
Yeah.
So then we progress. They have the falling out kind of a little bit during the little when Jackie and the other guy from the country club came over.
Yep.
And so then they do another gathering, just the two couples. So like Lisa and Will and Carlton and Amira, and they go
Yep.
they have like a beach day, and Carlton and Will they just got beef.
Yep.
At this point, I don't even remember what their beef was necessarily about at this point. Was it just still about Uncle Phil and the Omar
Yeah,
stuff, I
that's what it
think?
was.
So yeah, so they had beef. They come back from the pool day, and isn't this when or not pool, but the beach day, but this is when not Jackie. Lisa finds the drugs in Amira's purse,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
What did you think about that?
I knew it. I
Yeah.
I knew it. Something was just off about her.
Mhm.
And, she just I don't know, like, you can just kinda see it in certain people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she just everything was just too good to be true with that girl, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To be a to be an addict like that and going back to rehab multiple times and
Mhm.
everything, like, it's just an ongoing cycle with her. She's a repeat offender,
Yeah.
and, she knows how to manipulate people and, you know, um, show show them her good side. And
Yeah.
that's, I think she's got multiple personalities.
No, I agree. Cuz she was just like I said erratic all over the place. And
Yeah.
remember she missed that dinner that she's supposed to have with Carlton's parents,
Yep.
right? And then she shows up late and says something about the anniversary of the sister's death. And I remember we were watching that. Now, I ain't think that the girl didn't have a sister at all, but I definitely thought she was lying the
Yeah.
first time she said it. We both said it. We was like,
Yeah.
Travis probably didn't even die today, And then she used that same excuse with Lisa, when Lisa found the drugs in her purse. So at this point, were you thinking like that it was possible that she didn't even have a sibling, or like? I mean, I'm glad it came up because we both were kind of on the same page that she was
Yeah.
lying, at least about that. But I didn't think she was just making up a whole sibling.
Uh Shoot, man. I don't know if she had a sibling or not. I was like, maybe she's thinking about her friend. I don't know
Hmm.
that she calls her sister. Something like that along those lines. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, obviously we knew she was lying. I think she was lying from the very get-go when she missed that dinner.
Mhm.
Like, it's just a lie. Like, if you care that much about that person, you were to communicate with them XYZ, and you'd be like, hey, Carlton, look, I just realized today's the day that XYZ happened, even though we know she's lying.
Yeah.
Um, Communication is key in a relationship. If you care about that person, then
Mhm.
he would have communicated. She would have communicated. So yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. So then from there, um, Lisa's kind of bearing all this because
Yeah.
she's already got other stuff going on, and we'll get on. We'll talk about Lisa and Will in a second, but she's she's got this secret. She doesn't know what to do. She wants to tell Carlton, and she kind of is trying to tell him because he's like buying Amira gifts and stuff, but she could tell
Yeah.
she doesn't want him to like. She doesn't want to ruin his sobriety.
Yeah.
She's worried he might spiral. She tells him. So then she confides in Will. Now this is the one time that I do not like how Will handled a situation.
Yeah.
Um, I do not think he should have said anything to Amira, especially just like one on one, like in passing, like that.
Yeah.
It was weird because it was before their him and Carlton's presentation for the
Mm-hmm.
Black Access thing for the funding, and I was just like, why, Will? Just play it off like everything's all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think he should have kept quiet about it for a while too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, if I cared about Carlton that much, I would have went and told him.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have been like, hey, look, this is the situation. She's using again. You might not believe me, but I saw what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you'd get mad. Carlton probably would have got really pissed at Will. It'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
you're just jealous, blah, blah, blah. He would have thrown it
Yeah.
back in his face and he wouldn't have believed him because he believed, like, that man was strung out over that girl. He's strung out
Yeah.
over him. He loved her to death. He feels like
Mm-hmm.
she's the only one that understands him. So, like, it's hard to go against somebody that relates to you and understands you. You've been intimate with that person and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, Carlton is, he's pretty much whipped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's whipped by that girl. Like, she's
Yeah.
got
No,
him in a
I
chokehold.
agree. I
And
think he just likes too that she lives on the edge a little bit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's not good
No,
for
it's not.
him going through like his sobriety.
Nah, it's not. It'll put him back down in that hole that he once was in.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
So then see Will goes back into like the meeting. They're getting ready for their presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and Lisa's like blowing up Will's phone because Amira has confronted Lisa at this point because she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, you went and told your boyfriend when you promised me you weren't gonna say anything," type thing. And so she's like, "What did you say to Amira?" Because she's pissed or something to that effect. And Carlton sees the text because Will's phone just kept going off, and he just looks at his phone
Yeah, that's right.
and he sees the text, and that's how Carlton finds out that there's something going on.
Yeah.
And so then Will just has to come clean at that point.
Yep.
And we see Carlton. It seems like he might be spiraling a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you think? Well, let's go ahead and go to the next part. Actually, we'll do it all together because after that, they get through the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Carlton's spiraling a little bit, but eventually he makes it on there. They get through the presentation. They're looking for Amira after they can't find her, and then eventually they find her at the pool, face down in the water, and she's OD'd.
Yep.
What did you think of that? Like how quickly that transpired? Um, just kind of what was your thoughts, and then just how the group went, everybody, how they dealt with the aftermath of everything.
First and foremost is somebody that's CPR certified. They did a great job
Hmm.
of, giving them CPR until paramedics arrive. If you're not CPR certified, go get CPR certified. That's very important. You can save somebody's life. But at that point, you see something like that happen, you know, you guys, need to like put your differences aside and like
Hmm.
put the childish stuff away and just come
Hmm.
clean with everything. That's why it's important that, you have clear communication and you're upfront honest with everybody and stuff like that. And, you know, um,
Hmm.
with Carlton and Will being in whatever they had, you got to put that to the side,
Yep.
and we obviously know they eventually do put it to the side, and they
Right.
go clean. But like in that situation, but you should never let it lead up to that and stuff like that. And especially if she has an addiction and she's spiraling, you know, somebody else should have been notified as well too.
Hmm.
Somebody, whether it be that guy who's the head of that support group,
Yep.
you know,
And they're in
their
like
little
a little
circle,
leader. Yep.
yeah, him or somebody at the rehab place, like, or you should have called paramedics. Somebody should have been notified immediately.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, we found this, that, and the third, and Amira's bag. Somebody needs to like be monitoring her,
Hmm.
and that's
I
that.
agree. I agree. Yeah, because it was just in. Then I guess we have to remember at the end of the day they're all kids,
Yep,
so it's like
you do stupid
I guess
stuff.
they just did not know how to handle the situation.
They're probably
But
scared.
yeah, I would have drugs. That's all. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm telling you can be mad, not be my friend anymore. I don't care. But something like that,
yeah,
especially when you've been to rehab,
yeah,
I'm telling.
yeah.
But that's just me.
Especially if I'm that close to them. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
they're like somebody that I deal with on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
I'm speaking. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
because it seemed like her and Lisa had gotten quite close. Like they were,
which
because
is
we
weird.
don't even see Lisa. Like Lisa, do she have friends?
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? We
I
don't
wouldn't
see
be
her
her
with
friend.
nobody.
I'm being
I don't
real.
know. Maybe it's just they don't want to pay for no more
She ain't the type of friend
actors
that
or
I want in
nothing.
my life. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know, man. Like I said, I just don't like her character, man. She
Yeah.
just, the first thing that, I'm backtracking a little bit, but the first thing was she was already dating Carlton and she goes to Will. That's already a red flag right there. That's
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do anybody, we don't create no matrix or vortex or whatever. You know what
Like
I'm
all
saying?
American.
You're not fixing to, like, I'm not going to deal with you. You don't deal with somebody that I deal with on a daily basis, especially
Yeah.
family.
And they had sex. Like
Yeah.
but I blame Will too. Cause that's his cousin. Like you be
Yeah.
with your cousin's ex and they had sex. Like, it'd be different if they didn't have sex.
Right.
It still wouldn't be weird. It would still be weird, but like,
Yeah,
the
I
fact that
just
y'all both, I don't
it's
know. That's
terrible.
weird.
I don't like it.
That's weird. That's funny business to
But
me.
that's off track. But yeah, in those situations, man, you just got to tell somebody.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
somebody on drugs that you're close to and you care. If you truly care about them, you do whatever it takes, whether
Hmm.
it's gonna get them in a lot of trouble or not.
Yeah,
You could save somebody's life.
yeah. So then in this season, we do see the aftermath of Amira's OD.
Hmm.
Carlton is really trying to get through, trying to talk to her, trying to see her.
Yeah.
Her parents won't let him, you know, because I don't know. I don't know what they think the situation. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
like as far as they know, he's an addict too.
Yeah.
So they don't, they don't really know probably whether or not to let the man in or not. We the mom does eventually come out and speak with him and basically tells him like Amira doesn't have a sister. She lied about her
Yeah.
sister passing. Um and then we see kind of like how Lisa's dealing with it. She's taking it pretty hard. And then it becomes again a gang up on Will thing
Yeah.
because I don't know. It was a tricky situation because Will is trying to keep moving forward with Black Sis. He didn't necessarily have a relationship with Amira. I'm not saying he wanted the girl to OD,
Yeah.
but like they weren't friends at the time that this happened.
Nope.
He does feel bad. Like you see his like scenes where he feels bad. But then you got Carlton trying to blame the OD on Will. And then Will, they gotta move forward with Black Access. They need the funding, they need to
Yeah.
pick an investor.
Yeah.
And so he comes to talk to Carlton while Carlton's with Lisa. And then they basically saying he being insensitive or something. But in all fairness, Will ain't have shit to do with Amira.
He really didn't, man. Like I
Like, yeah,
said.
he shouldn't have said what he said when he said it.
Yeah.
But like the girl was gonna OD at some point.
Yeah. I feel like, this is almost referring back to the Fresh Prince. Will was always the easy one to blame,
Mm-hmm.
just based off his background and everything he had been through in Philadelphia. Um, you know, he's always, he's somebody that's not afraid to, speak his mind or,
Mm-hmm.
take risks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the night when they vandalized the construction site and all that stuff like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's a person of the culture. He fits into different categories and boxes, and and he knows a lot of people, and it's easy to blame him because he's associated with so many people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that on Fresh Prince when they used to gang up on Will.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like that either.
and I don't like it on Bel Air. So a lot of this, what I like about this show is they always make small references back to the actual
Mm-hmm.
TV show, and that's what's really really great about it. And I always tell people like, you guys got to watch this. And then there's cameo appearances by the original Fresh Prince
Yeah.
people. I know we're gonna talk about that a little bit later
Yeah.
as well too.
No,
Yeah.
I think I like that about the show too. It's just I'm tired of ganging up on Will. Like
Yeah, me too.
Will
Yeah.
don't even be doing nothing that bad
Nah, he don't.
compared to what Carlton do, and so then and we'll talk about that part later because it bleeds into more Will's storyline. I was
Yeah.
gonna bring up when Carlton snitched on him again.
Oh yeah.
But so then Carlton is spiraling. He calls up Connor, his old supplier,
Oh
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, that's right.
And but Connor refuses to give him any drugs. He's like, "You've been sober for 70, I think it was like 72 days or something."
Connor,
He's
man,
like,
that's a
"I'm
real
not
one.
I don't want to be the one to knock you off the wagon. Like I didn't bring anything."
Connor's a good Connor. I hated him, but like you can tell, like he matured.
Yeah.
He felt bad. He was like, man, that was my friend, and I did that to him.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man. Like you're not getting that from me.
Yeah.
I like that. That showed me a lot.
I appreciated that. I still don't like his ass.
Nah, I don't
You know
either.
what I'm saying? The N word and all that stuff. And then wasn't that him talking shit about Will on the golf course that day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with Connor. But I do appreciate that he didn't give Carlton the drugs though.
Yeah.
So then Carlton obviously addict. They're gonna if Connor didn't give it, he was gonna find it somewhere.
Facts.
So we see him in his car about to take the drugs, and he decides not to, which I was proud of.
Yeah.
And we see Carlton, coming full circle with his sobriety. He does get to see Amira off. She's going to another rehab facility. Um, they still seem pretty lovey-dovey, kind of close. Amira and Will seem to have squashed whatever they had going on. So what, I guess, just overall, because that was really Carlton's only storyline outside of Black Sets, which I
Yeah.
felt like leaned more into Will anyways. What do you think about how we left off with Carlton and Amira?
Uh, I still don't like it. I'm just being 100%. I mean, you know how I feel. If I see anything that's not good for me, I'm dropping it like a bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what Carlton needs to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need to be friends with her. He don't need to be with her. That's just somebody like that could put your life in such harm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of females out there, man. There's more women on this earth than men.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she's good for his sobriety.
Mm-mm.
I'm hoping they don't bring her back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have a chance to not bring her back as his like love interest or anything, but I don't know. They may not. I guess we'll
Who
just
knows?
see.
We'll see. Yeah.
So who do you want to talk about next? You want to go into Will next?
Uh,
I think his storyline's a little quicker.
it is pretty quick, but I with Aunt Viv and that chef.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen.
Well, let's talk about Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
So with them, when we come into the season, it feels like a little bit of tension still, but they seem
Yeah.
to be trying to figure it out. And they're not really doing it anymore. They're not having sex and stuff. And then Aunt Viv is planning, I guess it's like the launch of the law firm kind of. It's like a little, I don't know if it's the launch of his new law firm. I think that's what it was. So she planning that party and she needs a new caterer at the last minute.
Yep.
And Hillary's saying she can't do it. So I guess it was her assistant helps her find this caterer, this chef. I don't remember what his name was, but he was young.
Yeah,
and he was
about
Jamaican
my
or
age.
something.
Yeah.
Attractive man. He's flirting it up with her. And I'm just like, girl, this is a little inappropriate,
Yeah. This dude don't even look like no damn chef, man. I'm talking like, he looked like somebody like, come on now. He looked like a created human being. But carry on.
So then we're at the launch party. Erica's there. The jump off. And so she just keeps like being very weird with Aunt Viv. Aunt Viv is picking up on the vibe. She's picking up on the vibe. She's like, why does Erica keep avoiding me? And so then she didn't say it at the party, but I think Aunt Viv brought it up to Uncle Phil. He had like, you know how Erica is when she drinks.
He brushed
or whatever.
it off. Yeah.
So then she stops by the office and talks to Erica and just like, am I crazy? Like, what's going on? And then Erica tells Aunt Viv about the kiss.
Man.
What were your thoughts about like how she found out about it? I don't know. I don't care if Uncle Phil like just thought it was like not a big deal. You have to tell her. You just have to, because you don't want somebody else to tell her, because then it sounds like now you may not be telling the full truth because you didn't disclose it to begin with.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, you gotta tell it like immediately when it happens, because we all seen it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't try to kiss her.
Yeah.
She kissed him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't.
And he didn't kiss her back or
nope,
nothing.
he didn't. He pulled off. He was like, "Whoa, like what's this?"
He was a little bit flirty.
He was.
But outside of that, yeah.
But outside of that, like you said, he didn't go in. He didn't pursue it. But pursue it or not pursue it, you need to say it. You need to tell immediately.
Yeah.
If you hold on to it for a long time and it comes up, everything in the dark always comes to the light. It was gonna resurface regardless of what you wanted to do. somebody was gonna say something, so he should have said something immediately, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. He should have said something immediately. He didn't. So now Viv had to find out from the other woman.
It's a
And
terrible way
she's
to find
just
out.
like pretty much shut down on him.
Yeah.
Um, so she has her little girls' night. She kind of like confided in the girls about what Erica did and stuff. And then they know about the chef. They try to get her to
Man,
to message the chef. One of the friends that went and liked all his pictures on Instagram.
I thought the chef was finna break her back.
Oh yeah, I thought for sure
I
she was gonna
thought he
sleep with
was
the man.
finna.
I thought she was
I
too.
thought he was finna do her something dirty, like for
Yeah.
real. I was like, yeah, she finna. Cause like even like before the chef thing,
Mm-hmm.
just the way she was acting towards him, she wasn't giving it up to him
Mm-mm.
at night anymore. She was like she's just being funny with him, and
Yeah.
then no man likes that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that's gonna break a man's spirit or whatever. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, dang, like my own wife don't want to do it with me or whatever and stuff like that. She's like not even she don't like if I try to touch her or hug her, she's just backing off of me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty bad, and
Yeah.
what would go on in my mind is like, all right, somebody else, like there's somebody else involved,
Yeah.
and now I don't think Uncle Phil thought that until what we saw later, but just based off what I was seeing, the way Aunt Viv was moving, especially around that chef, she was just being real flirtatious with that dude.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I for sure thought it was gonna go down.
Me too. I thought so for sure. I thought she was gonna try to get her lick back, even though technically he didn't he didn't do anything wrong, but he
Hmm.
should have told her. Like
Yeah,
because Erica kissed him, but he withheld that information
sure
and
did.
then followed up, like still getting into business with this woman. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So then, as a result of that, Uncle Phil decides like I gotta cut ties with Erica. If I'm gonna save my marriage, I have to cut ties with Erica.
It's a real
So
man
him
right there.
and um Jeffrey, they're figuring out, okay, I gotta get a big client. Like I gotta get a
Yeah,
client so that I can make up for this money that I'm gonna be missing out on by not working with the clients that Erica's firm has given me. So he drops Erica, drops that partnership. He starts working with Omar. I don't remember his last name, but he's like a developer,
yeah,
a black man that's a developer, but he tends to partner with like I guess like white funding for his
yeah,
development
yeah,
projects.
yeah,
So a lot of the people in the area are worried about him gentrifying like the black communities that they have. So he has this big development that he's working on, but there's a lot of protesters, um, because they're worried about them gentrifying the area, even though he has in his contracts like
yeah,
plans to, keep affordable housing for
yeah,
some, black families and different stuff in the area, but it's being backed by white investors.
yeah.
What did you think about this decision from Uncle Phil?
I mean, at this point, look, first and foremost, I'm cutting ties with that lady. My
Yeah.
relationship is gonna be
Yeah.
before anything else. And then, in that situation, he had to think on his toes.
Mm-hmm.
He needed some type of temporary solution because you can't, with something like that, you can't wait around and dwell on
Mm-hmm.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? And, um, you know, it's easy to judge from the outside looking in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like with people that don't want their neighborhoods to go. I'm not a fan of gentrification. You know what I'm
No.
saying? I'd rather us invest, and I'd rather us put our own businesses out there
Mm-hmm.
and reinvest in our own community and stuff like that.
Right.
But um, sometimes there's like no saving it, But
Mm-hmm.
I think his hands was kind of tied behind his back at that point.
Yeah.
They ain't had no other options, you know, because I mean the other lady, what was her name, Erica, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
She had all the connects that he needed, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's my relationship over anything. I don't care how
Mm-hmm.
much money it is. I don't care what type of bag. I don't care what type of relationships. It's my relationship over anything else. If you truly value your relationship, you're gonna do the necessary sacrifices to save it.
Yeah.
Now if it would have went the other way and Aunt Viv wasn't willing to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's gotta be a two-way thing. It can't be a one-way street. And
No, I get what you're
thankfully it
saying.
ended up being a one-way street. So yeah.
Yep. No, that's good. No, I agree completely. So then we from there we'll kind of go ahead and weave some of Will's stuff in because it kind of goes with it.
Yeah, we can venture off
Um,
in that.
we see. So after that, he gets Omar as a client because he kind of steps in
Yeah.
and and during one of the protests and Omar goes ahead and hires him on. Um,
Yep.
and then we see that Omar's trying to buy up more businesses on the block, and one of those businesses is Jazz's record store. So Uncle Phil had already earlier at his launch party offered Jazz, and I know this kind of ties into Hillary, but I don't, we can't really talk about
Can't
the other
leave it
stuff
out. Yeah.
without talking about this now. Offered Jazz basically like a loan essentially to help because he's behind on his taxes on his record shop or whatever. And Jazz kind of figures out that Hillary is the one that told him about that.
Yeah.
So Jazz declines, he's like, I'm fine or whatever. So then Uncle Phil shows up at the record shop. What I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. I know, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, he shows up there and he's basically like, hey, Omar wants to buy the shop. This is his offer. You know, if
Yeah.
you're in, it's a really good offer. It'll get you out of like your debt and stuff. And, because if they end up having to auction it off, you're not going to get any money out of it or whatever. Jazz is really considering it, but that Yolanda, who is running for city council,
Yeah.
she's someone Jazz grew up with, and she's like, you can't like sell out like this. So Jazz ultimately decides not to take that offer, and that kind of like spearheads kind of like where everything goes with
Mm-hmm.
like Uncle Phil's business and stuff.
Yep.
But while all that's going on, we have Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv trying to figure stuff out, but they got their drama. They're not even sleeping in the same room.
Yeah.
So the kids surprised them for their anniversary. I don't even think they realized it was their anniversary. And then when they come in, they find Dad walking in with his pillow coming from another room.
Yep. They noticed something was going
So
on.
they noticed like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
What did you think about that? Just like did you think it was to the point where they couldn't sleep in the same room? I don't know. I probably would be that mad at you if like another woman kissed you and you didn't tell me and I found out from that other woman and it's a woman that you have a past with too.
You said you would be that mad, or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, in that point, you're so angry with that person,
Mm-hmm.
you just need that. You need that personal space to reflect and think about things. It's not necessarily I don't want to be with this person anymore. It's more
Mm-hmm.
so of like, dang, I'm hurt. All
Yeah.
right, let me get myself together so we can get this fixed. And how do I approach this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's pretty obviously from what we saw. It looked pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
It looked really bad
Yeah,
and
it looked really
everything.
bad.
But at this point, though, it shouldn't be that bad because Aunt Viv's doing some shiesty shit herself with that chef.
Yes.
She's entertaining it. She's letting her friends get in her head and all that stuff. And that's one thing I don't do, and I don't think anybody should do. Your problems should not your friends shouldn't know about what you got going on.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's I never understood that whole like I know they do it on the show. I don't know if people do I guess some people do that in real life,
I
but
think people do it in
I
real life.
don't get like divulging like issues. Like I would not divulge anything unless I'm done with the person.
Facts.
Like regardless like unless we are done, you will not know
What's going on?
what arguments or whatever we got going on.
Nope.
Unless I choose to divulge. And the only way I will is if I know I was dead ass wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to paint you out to be a bad person than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
I will like if I was the one that was wrong and I realized I was wrong, yeah, I was like, yeah, I let me tell you what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't get like confiding in no,
No.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't like her doing that. And then wasn't this the same for the anniversary? He tried to show up to the office and he catches her out on the balcony with
With the
Chef
chef.
Boy, or was his name Boy? No, I was reading a different book that had that name, I think. But the chef, the young fine chef that her homegirls keep trying to get her to get with, he catches them together out on the balcony.
Yep.
And she looking all guilty and stuff like, oh, Phil, could you come? And then he gonna offer Phil some food like he wasn't just hitting on her. Like,
I wouldn't even be in that situation too. Like, I really like the way he handled it.
yeah, I did too.
That's maturity. That's how a grown man handles business. Like now, I can't tell his thought process in the initial time, but I could tell he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But my reaction would have been like, okay, so she's been going off behind my back. And all the thoughts would have played through my head. Like, she thinks I
Mm-hmm.
kissed this woman kissed me. Yeah, I should have communicated, but, two wrongs never make a right.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't have been mad at the dude. I would have been more mad at her. And you know me, like, I'm throwing the towel in. I'd throw the towel in at that point. I'd be like, all right, I see what's going on here. Bet.
Yeah. Cause it was just like at that point, she wouldn't even like have a conversation with the man. That's the thing too. It's like you gotta at least like have a dialogue. Like she wouldn't
Yeah,
even like sit down and talk with him. So that's more like was my issue with
that's
her.
pretty
Like she
bad
had
too.
every right to be upset, but it's like that's your husband. Like you would at least need to talk to him
Gotta
about it.
talk to him,
Like give
man.
him a chance. Not saying like he should be able to explain it
Yeah,
away, but like
yeah,
still give the man a chance to like talk to you about it
yeah,
and give you like more context to what happened
yeah.
instead of just going off of what Erica
I
said.
agree. I agree.
So then I guess they had like their little dinner that night and they seemed to like kind of work it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we see them go on a couples trip. So there's them, some other couple that they met like on another trip, right?
Yep.
Lamarcus's parents, Hillary's fiance, which we'll get to that.
And his line brother.
Yeah, and then Phil's line brother and his wife,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So we find out that the couple that they met on another trip, I don't even know these folks' name, but I think the guy was Chad from Insecure, I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think that's him too.
But yeah, he seemed like, and he's always funny. But so they're like they have an open marriage. So we feeling like I'm like,
Swingers.
oh, are we like going Will and Jada on here? Like, what we doing? Cause like after like the whole like entanglement thing, I didn't know because Will Smith is executive producing,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, are we going there?
I don't like the route that took.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit of a filler.
Yeah, because
You
then they
know.
didn't even do it. They kind of insinuate like they were going to, but then they didn't.
Yeah.
I think the most they did is maybe kiss a little bit,
Yeah.
which it was just weird. I don't know. I guess just because, I don't know, maybe because we're
Strange.
not into that. It was just weird. Like he kind of was encouraging her, but then the homegirl started going over near him. And
Yeah, I ain't like
I
that.
ain't,
I
I didn't
almost
like
wanted
it.
to fast forward through that part to be real with you. That's just weird to me.
Yeah, and then to like go back to the room with them, and I'm like, oh, they really finna do it, and then find out they didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad they
So
didn't. But
me
it
too.
wouldn't even have got that far with me. I would have been like, y'all stupid as hell.
Yeah. So I feel like that was really it. Like they left off on good terms after that trip. It
Yeah.
seemed like I don't think there was much else with them too. Now there was more with Uncle Phil with Omar and stuff. I didn't know if you want to touch on that now or do you want to go ahead and let's dive into Will and then we can.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So Will, he is having some identity issues. He meets with his dad in this, like he sees his dad at a barbershop, right?
Yep. Lou.
Because he didn't know his dad was still in LA. So then he happens to like see him somewhere. He goes and talks to him. His dad basically saying like, you ain't shit without basketball. And so it gets in
Yeah.
Will's head, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna play travel basketball this summer. I'm gonna find another purpose. What did you think about that? Did you think he was just like he should have let him get in his head that much? You think he
He
made the
trying to
wrong
prove a point.
decision, or?
I think Will's trying to prove a point that he's more than
Mm-hmm.
just an athlete.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot in the black community. They think that's it sucks because sometimes they feel like that's their only way out,
Mm-hmm.
which is not true, man. I mean, look at me and you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we were both student athletes. Got our degrees. There's other avenues, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Will's trying to prove a point, but at the same breath, I don't think he should have quit playing basketball.
Yeah.
Um, First and foremost, sports teach you a lot of like things that other people don't have. It teaches you a lot of discipline,
Mm-hmm.
focus, time management, teamwork, leadership skills. Those are all traits that transcend to what you do for a
Yeah.
living and stuff like that. But I think it was so personal with Will because that's his dad, and his dad was barely in his life. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
to prove to his dad wrong.
Yeah.
Um, his dad was wrong the way he came about saying it to him. But can we really blame him? Like, we learn about their past.
Right.
Like he didn't have a lot, and his dad wasn't there for him. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of being in like it's kind of like an ongoing cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I kind of got where Will was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If he's serious about basketball, because I played basketball. I wasn't like no top recruit or nothing,
Yeah.
but just based off of the way they introduced us to Will in season 1, he's supposed to be a top recruit,
Yep.
right? Um, and it seems like this is the summer going into senior year. That's what it felt like.
Yep.
So there's no if he wants basketball to be an option, and considering he didn't play for his team, his high school
AAU.
team. Well, he didn't play for the high school
Oh,
team.
that's
Remember, he
right.
got kicked off the team.
Yes, right. He sure did. Yeah.
Like, he needed to play summer ball
Mm-hmm.
going into his
That's
senior year
right.
if he wants
That's right.
scholarships. So it's kind of, and I don't know. I don't know how realistic they're gonna try to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may,
Yeah.
it's just a TV show. It ain't
Yeah.
real life, so they may just still let him get scholarships anyway. But he needed to be playing because he already didn't play with his high school team, and then he like quit the Zenith thing like in the middle of like getting
Season.
geared up for
Yeah.
like AAU, like the travel, like
Yeah.
the recruiting periods, like you know. But I get why I'm glad he doesn't want to just like only fall back on
Yeah.
basketball though. I'm glad he's giving himself options like which kind of goes into the brand that he's developing, Black Cess.
Yep.
It's like with Carlton, it's like you have these resources, take advantage of them. Yeah, you may feel guilty that like out of all the people that you grew up with, where you come from,
Yeah.
that you get the access to this stuff, but it's like don't take it for granted though.
No.
So you do have access to these people. You have access to this country club with all these rich ass people. Like network and take advantage of it.
Smart.
And I was proud
Yeah.
of him for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't. I think being around his family, his extended family,
Mm-hmm.
has shown him that hey, there's more to life than being in Philly.
Yeah.
Like going to school, hooping, and doing whatever else they did. Him and Trey did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and he's realizing that he's unlocking his potentials, which is good for him, which is what I like, and he's trying to prove it to his dad and everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, his dad, the way he went about communicating it was wrong.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so then from there, like we see, like he's trying to get in good. So before he quit Zenith, I think is the basketball thing.
Yeah.
He was trying to get in with, I don't remember the man's name, but Vince, what you call its character
V-
or whatever his name is,
Vic Mensa.
Vic Mensa's character. So he's trying to get in with his program where he, young black entrepreneurs
Yep.
come up with a business plan, and he kind of mentors you and helps you pitch to investors and stuff.
Yep.
So he's supposed to get an interview for it because of basketball practice. He was doing bad in practice. He was having to take extra reps and stuff.
Yep.
He ends up being late for the interview. And so then, but Carlton ends up helping him get in the program. But Vic Mensa's character, I can't remember his name, Quentin.
Yep.
He
That's his
wants them
name.
to both do it together and come up with a business idea together. So that's how we get Carlton and Will working together on something. And
Mm.
at this point in time, Carlton and Will are back like best friends, which is weird
Yeah.
considering where they start off in season 1, but they're like super close. So from there they eventually come up with Black Cess. It's kind of like they say it's like a lifestyle thing. It just sounds like they're influencers.
Yeah.
If we're
The
being
social
honest.
media influencers.
And they
Yeah.
make a little merch to go with it.
Yep.
And so their whole thing is like they want to make money off of like events and merch and stuff, and invest that money back into the black community. So like
Yep.
small black businesses, and the first one they want to do is Jazz's record shop, and I think it's called Charlie's. Now that I think about
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
So that's their whole idea, and Quentin likes it. So they're kind of like figuring out what they want to do from there. Um, Will is struggling a little bit with Uncle Phil and the Omar thing because he's over at Charlie's with Jazz, and Yolanda shows up, and they're having like a meeting about what they're gonna do about this new development in
Yeah.
the neighborhood. And basically, like, now Will feels conflicted because he respects Uncle Phil so much. He looks up to Uncle Phil.
Yep.
This is his guy. But now he's like, I'm disappointed. Like, Uncle Phil, like, you're representing this guy that is like
Yeah.
gentrifying the community.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I think I'm trying to because this is they hadn't at this point that had the investors hadn't they had backed out by the time they did the fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so before the fire happened, um Will goes and talks to Uncle Phil about it, just trying to like figure out what's the deal, right?
Right.
Then he talks to Omar about it. And Omar seems like he's on Will's side, and then he like switches up on him. And I think that's what sent Will kind of like over the edge, like, oh, I'm gonna show up with them. And they were thinking they were just gonna like vandalize some stuff, maybe some little graffiti here and there.
Boy,
They
no.
were not.
I don't know why
Him
they
and
thought they were
Jazz,
just gonna do
I don't
that.
think thought it was gonna go that left at all.
Shit. I could have told them it was gonna go that way, man. As somebody that's been to a protest.
Yeah. What did you
I,
think about like those guys just kind of going like rogue like that and just like starting to burn that shit down?
I mean, when you are so far
Hmm.
of protecting your neighborhood, like I'm trying to be careful with my words. When you're so invested in your neighborhood and that's the only thing
Hmm.
you care about and you love everything about it and everything you'll do whatever it takes to defend it.
Yeah.
Some people don't see the business side of things. They don't see what could happen if you do XYZ. All they know is this is where I've been my whole entire life. I'm gonna do whatever I can to defend it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's like they kind of made an emotional decision,
Yeah.
but it's like, regardless, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they thought they would accomplish by burning some of the stuff. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
Because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you cost the man some money because you got to replace that stuff, but like, and you slow down, I guess, the development a little bit. But I mean, they're probably just gonna up the security, add some cameras. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
And
mean?
that
It's
ain't
still
gonna make
gonna
it any better.
happen.
That's gonna create more issues and that's gonna create more gentrification.
Hmm.
Like, they didn't think it through.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
vandalize. First and foremost, they shouldn't even vandalize. They should have. I don't know. There's other means of ways.
Yeah.
There's other means of ways. You know.
But the thing is, I think it would have been fine had they not took it so far. I don't know. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just saying it did seem like Omar was trying to do the right thing initially. Like
Yeah.
even though he did have white investors, he put a lot of stuff in those contracts to make sure like the community wasn't going to get gentrified.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that, from the outside looking in, it didn't
Nah.
look
It
good.
just.
Now I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't remember if we got any like tidbits on Omar's actual like history, like with his developments, like
Yeah.
had he been gentrifying? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. You know what I mean? Maybe that might be part of it. I don't know. But yeah, so then after that, Uncle Phil and Omar have to meet with the investors, and basically they're like, okay, now we don't know if we like agree with everything. We may need some more stipulations if we're gonna move forward. And
Yeah.
it's basically full on gentrification at this point.
Yep.
And Uncle Phil's like, Omar, like we can't do this. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Omar's like, I'm just gonna agree to whatever terms they want. And then
Yeah. That's
that's Uncle
lame.
Phil's breaking point. He's like, I can't do it anymore. I don't represent you anymore then.
Yep.
What did you think about Uncle Phil in that moment?
That's why I liked him. But
Yeah.
you know, is like somebody that has to play politics. You know, like him. You know, he's not gonna lean too far to the left. He's not gonna lean too far to the right. He's right in
Mm-hmm.
the middle with it, and I think that's perfect because you know he's not forgetting who he was and how he started.
Yeah.
You know, no matter like even if his like social status, he's got the money. You know, he knows the people, but
Mm-hmm.
deep down he knows who he is and he cares about the people of the community.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought that was a great move and I thought that's gonna win him over some points.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a good move, and then I think it was good for Will to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, Will obviously feels guilty for what he did now.
Yeah,
Even though
definitely.
he didn't do it, he was there. He kind of betrayed Uncle Phil in a way. Um, but yeah, I like that Uncle Phil like stood up for what like he had a clear line. He's like,
Yep.
I'm now this is going too far. So then we see like Will finally confessed. Well, Carlton snitched on Will.
Yeah, he did. He
And
told him.
Carlton, I know we already talked about Carlton, but I'm just like Carlton. I couldn't fuck with Carlton no more if I will. Like he just stays snitching on him to like deflect from what he got going on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just like we can't be close like that no more if you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. That's pretty bad.
So yeah, but we see that we see Will have some conversations with like Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil, and even Lisa's dad.
Yeah.
And Uncle Phil and will, have a real heart to heart about, his thoughts and stuff and everything. And they seem in a good spot. So and then it seems like Will and Carlton's business and what they're doing inspires Uncle Phil to
Yeah.
actually to try to make a change. And then by the end, the season, I think was it in the last episode or next to the last, we find out that Uncle Phil has gotten together a group of black investors that will back the developmental project for
Yep.
Omar. So
Mhm.
now the project is black, fully black owned. What did you think about that and how he pulled together his resources? He got together with Yolanda to
Yeah.
do this and
I mean,
and
I'm glad he did it, but this is sidetrack.
mhm,
You're a member of a Divine Nine organization.
mhm.
Why aren't you using your network? As somebody that's a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated,
Yeah.
if I need to get anything done or I need the right person to call or the right person to lean on, you know, I reach out to my fraternity because
Yeah.
there's so many of us that are in so many places that we can't get to. There's so many high level, like Ben Crump is one person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He was what? He was George Floyd. He represented George Floyd's family
Mhm.
and a whole bunch of people as well. Ahmaud Arbery was another one that he represented as well too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're a member of like a Divine Nine organization why didn't you lean on that to begin with? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And
You know,
then him being like rich like that, you know, you just have access to people that a regular
person
person
does
wouldn't have
not.
access
Yep.
to. So it's just like I didn't understand why he couldn't pull together these black
Yeah.
investors before
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's or the guy that played Vic Mensa's character. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wasn't he tied into this?
yeah, Quentin. Yeah.
Quentin should have been tied into this.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. But it ended up okay, you
Yeah,
know.
it did.
So and
It
they
did.
were able and then they were doing something else to like put together some sort of fund, it said, I think basically to
Hmm.
help pay off the taxes for like the small business there. So basically Jazz won't lose his record shop. That's
Yeah,
basically
good
what
for
we got
him.
out of it. So I was glad for that.
Yeah.
So Uncle came around for me by the end, but you know,
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in him a little bit through the
Yeah,
season, but
but he pulled it together.
yeah, he definitely did. So now because I want to do Hillary last, obviously, because you know why.
You talking about Jeffrey next?
Yeah, let's do Jeffrey.
Okay.
So yeah, because he had a storyline, but
Just kind
it
of
ain't that
short.
deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he finally got his son in L.A.
Hmm.
Right. The son is a little shady. He do a lot of like little little crime here and there,
Oh
little
yeah.
shady business. You know. What did you think about Jeffrey's son just throughout the season, like, and how his relationship with Jeffrey and
I don't like
Will
how
and
he move.
Carlton? Yeah,
I don't like how he move. I feel like he's using Jeffrey to get what to get to a certain point. Um, but then again, I could be wrong. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But either A, he's using Jeffrey for something, or B, he's trying to be what Jeffrey was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
I get what you're
and he was
saying.
real secretive, and then we find out, he kept going to see his mom and trying to keep Jeffrey away, like Jeffrey and his mom away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I didn't like him. I didn't like, um, Will kept trying to be nice and invite him to stuff, and then he was just like being shady with them, like
Yeah.
how he was stealing them folks' money.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
street
it
fight.
almost got them caught up in that.
Yeah.
And then he got them shooting dice with folks. Then next thing you know, you got whoever after Jeffrey jumping him and stuff, and he
Man, he's
lying and
tripping.
stuff. Then he's sneaking off, having secret phone calls. I don't even know if he was really talking to his mama when Will overheard him,
Yeah.
sneaking off. I wonder if he was talking to somebody else. I don't know. I don't
Who
trust the
knows, man?
son, and I don't trust the mama either.
Yeah, I don't trust her
Cause she
either.
basically set Jeffrey up, like how these folks are. And then when she it was walking, I don't know if it was the last episode, next to the last. They
Yeah.
was walking down the street, and Jeffrey clocked that van
G-Wagon,
or
yeah.
whatever was following him, and he's like, "Look, are you gonna trust me? Are you gonna tell me why this SUV following me? You know what I mean?" She's like, "Well, they just said to bring you here, and they just gonna talk to you like."
Oh, yeah,
Bitch, you
you
know they
set
ain't
him
finna
up.
just talk to him.
Yeah. That's trash.
And I was just like, she really set this man up.
Yeah.
So I really didn't like how she was moving.
Yeah,
We
Jeffrey's
didn't
in
get a
some
whole
deep
lot of
stuff.
Jeffrey anyways this season outside of
Yeah.
his family. So, but yeah, we left off. Jeffrey had to leave with his family, but because we didn't talk about this for Will yet, Will was kidnapped at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the season by the same guys because he went by to see Jeffrey in the apartment cleaned out. He's like, dang, what's going on? He comes outside. The guys that's been after Jeffrey then snatched up Will. So I think that leads the way for Jeffrey to come back.
Yeah.
I thought they really was writing him off at first, but once that happened, I was like, okay, so he's gonna come back and help them find Will.
Phew, man. Yeah. Jeffrey got himself in some mess wherever he
Yeah.
was. Whatever he was doing over in the UK, he must have been a real street dude, like
Yeah.
a real hitman or something. He was
Because it sounds like he killed one of the gang's leaders.
Yeah.
Or something.
And the
'Cause
OG Jeffrey
that's
came
what I
in.
was just about to
Yeah.
ring up. You go ahead.
The OG Jeffrey came in, for those y'all don't know, and he tries to kind of pay his debt.
Mm-hmm.
And the OG Jeffrey from Fresh Prince comes back and says it's not enough.
Yeah. That's basically what happened is like we could see if it's enough, but then Penelope, who was Jeffrey's girl, like I guess ex girl, baby mama, we'll just say it,
Hmm.
or child's mother. Um, she basically gets the call like they said that wasn't enough. They want you,
Yep.
and she kind of sets Jeffrey up, but Jeffrey peeps in, and they all decide to leave town together, the three of them.
And they tie Will into it.
Yeah. So we don't know the fate of Will. Obviously, he's the main character. He's not gonna die,
Yeah.
but we don't know how long he's gonna be like held captive or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. So now we'll talk Ashley really quick, just really, really quick. Ashley, she got the little girl that she was liking at the end of last season. Remember, she's like, "Oh, I like your little rainbow pen or whatever."
Hmm.
The little girl, her parents going through a divorce or got divorced. She peeped that Ashley parents ain't really
On
on
good
solid
terms.
ground. And Ashley in her feelings and basically is just like tell the girl to get the hell on.
Yeah,
What,
that
what
was
did
rude.
you what did you think
I
about
thought it was
that?
rude, man. She just actually got an attitude problem.
Yes, she do.
She got a real attitude problem, man. She need to fix that, to be honest. Um, but I don't even know if we're gonna see that girl again, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they go to school together, but then we see because they were trying to start the little band thing.
Yep.
But the girl was like, "You keep singing these sad ass songs. We need to liven this shit up a little bit."
Yeah.
And Ashley didn't like that either.
She pushed her away.
But then we see the guy. What's his name? Eli.
Something like that.
Anyways, he shows up. He was like, "Oh, I'm interested in the band." She's like, "Oh, you're like a day or two late or whatever. We're not gonna do the band anymore." And he's like, "Oh, dang, I was really looking forward to it." They start hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
He's non-binary, but I think he uses he. I don't know. I think they
Something.
said he uses he they pronouns, so he uses both. So I'm not, misgender nobody. But so Ashley just having this man all up in her bedroom and stuff, and her mama like, hold up now. She's like, but he's non-bi. Eli, he's non-binary.
Yep.
And
She
like
said
that
that.
makes it like, oh, of course he's not interested in me. Like, no, we could peep from jump that Eli was
Man, that
interested.
man want her
Yeah. So eventually he
easily.
does make it clear that he's interested in stuff. I think this was at the wedding by the time he finally like really came out and said it,
How do
like
you get
when
to
they
the
were in Martha's Vineyard. What did you kind of think about Ashley's art? Because it was like weird. She was like, first she was mad at Carlton. They settled their differences, and then we see her with the I don't know. I guess it's just her friend,
Yeah.
but the girl that they both had a crush on each other though. And then they have their falling out. She gets kind of with Eli. You see her with Hillary, and she wants Hillary to pick Jazz so bad, and she writing songs about how Hillary ruined her life. So what do you guys just think about her arc through the season?
I mean, I ain't really had no real thoughts. I mean,
Yeah, they didn't.
her
We barely see her.
her storyline was just surface level.
Yeah,
You know,
these
I'm
last
gonna
two
have to kind
seasons,
of see a little bit more. I feel like we're gonna get more into it in the next season, honestly.
hopefully, because she'll be a little older, so maybe they can
Yeah,
dive
because
into it
there
a
were
little
some
bit more.
episodes she wasn't even on.
Yeah,
So I think it's just surface level, honestly. So
yeah,
I'm not really invested into it, to be honest.
yeah. And then I feel like she's gonna struggle because we forgot to talk about this with Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, which I kind of peeped it in the episode when she was talking about she was nauseous. Aunt Viv is pregnant, just like the original, just like Fresh Prince. She's pregnant. And I'm thinking maybe they're gonna have Ashley kind of struggle with like not being the baby of the family anymore.
That's how it was on Fresh Prince.
Yeah. So maybe that's why we'll see her a lot more next season.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll do like Hillary, Jazz, Lamarcus kind of together. That's our
Okay.
last little group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hillary, at the end of last season, Jazz tried to get her back, but she ran off to Europe with Lamarcus. She's
Yeah.
back now. We don't know it at first, but Jazz is basically like, you just run and stuff. Da 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 da. They're at the little like Juneteenth barbecue, and that's when we find out that Hillary and Lamarcus are engaged. I was from the beginning. I was like, oh, she ain't gonna marry that man. She just wanted to make Jazz jealous. Jazz is the one. She knows it. Da 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 da. You was like, how you
Yeah,
so sure? And I was like, no, she ain't gonna marry that man. And Hillary showed my ass
I told you she was finna marry that
because
guy.
she went through with it.
Uh,
So what did you think? I guess just initially, like, found out that they were engaged when they really just reconnected.
I mean, that's how celebrities move, man.
Hmm.
Like it's realistic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what it is. Like I mean, her and Jazz complement each other a little bit better, but it's like in terms of
Yeah.
lifestyle, like that's what Hillary wants, man. She wants that.
Hmm.
She wants that flashy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what better the way to get is than with an NFL player,
Right.
honestly.
Hmm.
And you don't want anybody that's unsure of what they want. And I feel like she needs. I've been
Hmm.
saying it. She just needs to be single.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying the whole entire time. She don't need to be like trying to force a relationship or be in a relationship. She owns her own business. Stay single. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have all these problems and whatnot. And then, Jazz gets in your head and you want to go tell LaMarcus that, you were intimate with Jazz and then he collapses on the football field.
Yeah, that was like so she kissed Jazz at the little the law firm launch party. And then she's like, I gotta tell Marcus. And Ivy's like, girl, you better not tell Marcus. And she's like, no, I gotta tell him. She's trying to tell him that at practice. That's time and place, Hillary.
That's
Time
stupid.
and place. Like, why would you tell him that in front of his teammates? You know what I mean? But she doesn't get a chance to. And she's like, I'm gonna tell him. And the next thing you know, he gets a concussion at practice,
Yep.
and she doesn't get a chance to tell him. Or no, he doesn't get a concussion. He has the heart thing,
Yeah, he collapsed.
like
Like
Damar
DeMar
Hamlin.
Hamlin. Yep.
So then he's in the hospital. It's kind of touch and go, but he ends up being, at least as far as we can tell, he ends up being okay.
Yep.
He has to kind of like learn to walk again a little bit and
Yeah.
stuff, but he ends up being okay. So she still hasn't told him about Jazz. But they're gonna work it out. She's meeting with people and stuff, and she has like a new social media
Yep.
kind of strategist that she's bringing on, and they want her to do what for her brand is just to do. Oh, I'm marrying an NFL player. I'm an NFL wife, and she's like, that's not my brand though. Like, I want to focus on like my cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so then Lamarcus comes up with the idea. He's like, "How about you just marry me like in it was like a couple weeks in Martha's Vineyard. I
Yep.
mean, marry me in a couple weeks, and then that way we don't have to worry about like it being this big thing on social media and stuff. We can just get it over with,
Yep.
basically." And she's down for it. But then also in the meantime, we see um he'll okay, so Jazz has the whole he gets locked up thing because they did have his fixes. His dumbass took his ski mask off
Yeah.
when the fire happened at the
Stupid.
at the site at the construction site. So they locked him up. They Hillary and Will go to bail him out. Will has the money from Black and then Hillary just they needed another person to sign on his bond or whatever.
Yeah.
So they bail him out, and Yolanda shows up
Oh
to
yeah.
take him, home from the precinct. And so then Hillary, I think that's when she realized, oh, like she's not just like some random, you know what I mean? Like she's different than
Yep.
the rest of them, and she basically tells Jazz as much, and they like, well, we just need to get out of each other's system. So they agree to like have one night together.
Hung out.
And I thought they was like meaning like get it out our system.
Yeah, I thought they was
I
gonna
was
do
like,
it.
Hillary, like you already felt bad enough about the kiss. Like,
Yeah.
let's not go too far.
I mean, I feel like they really needed to do that.
Yeah.
Just to, figure out where they were with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
we saw that, I think they're fine without each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, it sucks because they spent that day together, and
Mhm.
then Hillary's stupid ass leaves her wedding ring there,
Mhm.
and then she's panicked on the day of her wedding. Jazz has to fly it out to her,
Mhm.
and LaMarcus catches Jazz and Hillary together.
Yeah, that was just I felt like I don't know. I felt like it was a sign that she should marry the man,
Yeah,
but
I agree too.
um but I
They
don't
did.
know. Like I liked the whole get us out of each other's system thing. I just love seeing them together because we didn't get a whole bunch of Hillary Jazz scenes
Yeah,
when they were like together, and you could just
yeah,
they just had really good chemistry. Like you could tell that like yeah, her and LaMarcus are cool, but like Jazz and her, they're like best friends. Like not just you know what I mean. It
yeah,
seemed like they are like soulmates
yeah.
in my opinion. Like they seem to be like they were just laughing together, just having a good time. It seemed like with LaMarcus, it's a little like you want some seriousness, but like she can just be goofy with Jazz. Like I don't know. I just felt like her and Jazz just had like a different chemistry than she had with
Well,
LaMarcus.
like I said, I mean, she just needs to be single, and then um, especially what goes on we found out at the end of the season when they're on
Hmm.
their honeymoon.
Yeah.
You know, he's unresponsive in the bed and stuff, kind of like on Fresh Prince when Trevor dies from the bungee accident.
Yeah.
I don't know if LaMarcus is gonna die. I hope he don't die.
I
I don't.
know.
But that's a hell of a cliffhanger to leave it on. I thought the way it
Yeah.
ended was good. Now it's got me it's got me wanting more now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I thought it was a good way to end the season. But I guess my takeaways from this is Carlton needs to ditch Amina. Hillary
Amira.
Amira. Sorry,
Like,
Carlton needs to ditch Amira. Hillary needs to be single. Will, I think he should pick back up on basketball, drop Jackie, excuse me,
drop
drop
Lisa.
Lisa, get Jackie, and just thrive in Black Cess and everything. And then, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, they need to continue to work through everything daily.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but, well, I have to backtrack because Will got kidnapped, shoot.
Yeah.
But, we know Jeffrey's going to have to come back.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Um,
the only one equipped to find
yeah.
Will.
Yeah, so Jeffrey brings Will back safe. And I feel like Jeffrey digs himself out of whatever hole, or he's gonna have to make some type of sacrifice. I hope
Mm-hmm.
it's not himself.
Yeah.
But I thought this was the best season.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good.
It was
I
very
agree with
good.
you. I think well, most of the stuff. I want Hillary and Jazz back together, and maybe not next season. It don't have to be
Yeah,
season 4. Hopefully, they get a 5th season because I don't know if they've been renewed for through season 5 yet. But like it, or maybe towards the end of season 4. But I do think they're like in game. I love their chemistry. I want. I agree. I think I do want Will with Jackie.
yeah,
I would
man.
like to see him pick
Lisa's
basketball
boring
back
as
up.
hell, bro.
I want Lisa to find some friends.
She's just boring,
Like
bro.
we only see her with like Will and Carlton, and I guess
Mm.
Amira kind of became a friend, but I don't know. She just seems so uptight, like she got to stick up her ass all the time. Like
Yeah, man.
I
She
need
just
like Lisa to find some fun friends, but not ones doing drugs and stuff.
yeah.
Um, I want, I think I'm interested to see what happens with Aunt Viv and the baby. Like what is Uncle Phil gonna say? But
Got to go
yeah,
through with it.
and then like you said, Hillary and LaMarcus, though, even though I want her with Jazz, like I don't want LaMarcus to die.
Nah.
But I they did say LaMarcus's middle name is Trevor, so they might kill him.
Yeah,
Like when he
they
was saying
could.
his vows, his middle name was Trevor.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but overall, I don't know. What do y'all think?
yeah.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we thank you guys for bearing with us. We know this is a long video. In the future, if we're gonna talk about like a review a season or talk about it, we'll try to like break it up into a couple episodes. But the channel's new and the whole season's already out, so we figured we would just go ahead and talk about it all at once.
Yep.
So once again, this is my new YouTube channel. It's Recap and React with Candace. I have my husband Jordan here with me, and we just thank you guys for checking us out. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me. Peace.